Hey everybody, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and this is my series Nails in the Coffin, where we learn that with great kills, there must also come great nails. This is a bonus episode of Nails in the Coffin. It was a special request by someone who I'm proud to call my friend and mentor, Josh Beagle from Movie Timelines. He asked me to cover 2002's Dog Soldiers. Now, I hadn't watched this movie before I covered it for Nails in a Coffin, and Josh thought it was going to have a very high average of nails, and I've also heard a lot of great reviews on this movie, and I was really looking forward to watching it. So, let's get down to business and let's put some nails in a coffin for Dog Soldiers. Did anybody else hear that? The movie starts with a young couple. Now, they're unnamed really in the movie, but the actor and actress are called Craig and Tina, so that's what I'm going to go with to make it easier to talk about them. Craig and Tina are camping in the Scottish Highlands. It's nighttime. They hear something outside the tent, and then they see someone or something opening the zipper to their tent. Craig shines a flashlight on the opening right as a werewolf grabs Tina's leg and tries to drag her out of the tent. She's kicking and screaming. Craig is trying to pull her back, but they're overpowered. She's pulled out of the tent and then killed. The camera then focuses on Craig as he reaches for this silver letter opener that Tina had given him as a present, but the camera then cuts away and we see a shot of the moon and we hear a howl. I'm going to rate this couple together and give each of them 3 nails in a coffin. When a werewolf was trying to drag Tina away, they were both trying to fight this beast off. She was kicking and screaming. Craig was trying to pull her back into the tent. They just didn't freeze and not do anything like you see in most slashers and horror movies. Craig, he knew he was probably a goner, but he grabbed a letter opener, and he probably knew he was going to die, but I think he fought till he died. So I'm going to give the first 2 kills in this movie, each of them, 3 nails in the coffin. Our next death is Corporal Bruce Campbell. Sergeant Wells asks for a volunteer for rear guard action, which is a military tactic used to protect a unit's rear from attack. Corporal Campbell does volunteer for this. When he sees one of the beasts in the woods, he goes to shoot at it, but his gun malfunctions and it's of no use to him. So he's running from one of the werewolves and he keeps looking over his shoulder to see if the werewolf is still there. Now, this character's name is Bruce Campbell. Nice little nod to the famed actor from the Evil Dead franchise. And one thing I like in this at this part is you get a first-person camera shot of Corporal Campbell being chased through the woods, which is, again, a nice little nod to Evil Dead. While he's running from the werewolf, he's looking over his shoulder, but it's still there. But he's not looking in front of him, and he winds up impaling himself on a tree branch, which goes all the way through him. But he's not dead yet till a werewolf does finish him off. This was a tough one to rate. I almost wanted to give him 1 or 2 nails, but taking everything into consideration, I am going to give Corporal Campbell 3 nails in a coffin. He was being chased by a monster. His gun did malfunction, but he did volunteer to take rear guard, so he wasn't a coward, because there is a difference between fear and cowardness, and he definitely wasn't a coward. If some big giant monster was chasing me, I would be more concerned with him chasing me than really what was in front of me, so I can't blame him for constantly looking over his shoulder to see, if he can get away from this beast. So, taking everything into consideration, Corporal Bruce Campbell is going to get 3 nails in the coffin. Sergeant Wells finds Corporal Campbell's body, and he's attacked by one of the werewolves. He's horribly wounded with his guts spilling out, but they just pretty much just push his guts back in and wrap him up, and this tough son of a bitch does not die just yet. The squad is eventually picked up by Megan, who is a zoologist, and she takes him to this house in the woods belonging to an unknown family, and they hold up in this house and treat Sergeant Wells' wounds. Eventually, the werewolves attack the house that they're held up in, and the soldiers were able to fend them off with the remaining ammunition and weapons that they had. However, when Private Milburn is standing by one of the windows, a werewolf snatches him and drags him out of the house, and eventually kills him later by decapitating him. I'm going to give Private Milburn 3 nails in a coffin because he showed a ton of bravery and smarts as they were fighting off these, giant beasts. And the only reason I'm not going to give him 4 nails in a coffin is because I don't think he should have been standing that close to the window with his back to it after they were able to fend these werewolves off. But he showed way too much bravery and smart, so he definitely deserves at least 3 nails in the coffin. With their ammunition running low and running out of time, they decide to try and escape. They decide not to wait until morning to see if daybreak will revert the werewolves to their human form. So Private Spoon creates a diversion while Private Joe Kirkley races to the garage to steal a Land Rover parked there. He hotwires it, and when he does start the car, he sees one of the werewolves actually decapitating Private Milburn from earlier. So he's able to start the Land Rover, and he backs it up too in front of the house that they're staying in. While he's waiting in there for everybody else, he sees and hears a werewolf in the back seat, and he's like, I know you're back there. And with only a knife, he goes in for the fight with the werewolf, and he dies fighting. So I'm going to give Private Joe Kirkley 4 nails in a coffin. He showed a ton of bravery to go out in the garage and try and hotwire this Land Rover with only a knife on him. And he was to go save everybody else. And he goes to fight this giant beast with just a knife, probably knowing he was going to die, but he just grabbed a knife and said, hey, let's go at it. And yeah, that's a sacrifice play. It's bravery, and that's an easy 4 nails in the coffin for me. Zoologist Megan is next. We find out that she is, in fact, a werewolf. And she kept this from the squad the entire time, but she chose to help them instead of killing all of them when she had the chance. She reveals her secret to Cooper and Wells, and as she starts to turn with, a bunch of werewolves standing up behind her, Wells kills her by shooting her in the head. Megan was about to turn into one of the werewolves and she was killed, but I'm going to give her 3 nails in a coffin. I think she wanted to die and not live with this curse anymore. And she did save the squad and help them fend off the other wolves. So I can't say she really did anything stupid. I think she's like, hey, I don't want to live this curse anymore. Please put me out of his misery. And she couldn't hold off the transformation any longer, and Private Wells was able to end her misery. So, Megan, I'm giving you 3 nails in the coffin. This is my favorite death in the movie. So, Private Spoon was downstairs at the werewolves started breaking into the house. Spoon just starts throwing everything he can get his hands on to stop this beast. He even put his dukes up and was able to kick and punch, and he even knocks one of the werewolves' teeth out, and it goes flying into the wall. And he eventually kills one of these werewolves by beating him to death with the frying pan. But Private Spoon got outnumbered. He was put against the wall, choked, and right before he died, he spits in their face saying, hey, I hope I give you the shits. 4 nails in a coffin for Spoon. He fought the beast with his fists and anything else he can get his hands on, throwing dishes and plates and pots and pans. He was a tough soldier who definitely went out like a boss. He showed no cowardice at all. The werewolf was at least twice his size. There was multiple of them. They're faster, stronger, razor-sharp teeth and claws, but he just put his fists up when he had no other choice. And yeah, he went out like a champ. So easy, 4 nails in a coffin for Private Spoon Witherspoon. The tough-ass nails, Sergeant Wells, dies next. He's about to eventually turn into one of the werewolves, so he must have been affected when he was attacked earlier on in the movie, which is probably how he survived having all of his guts spilled out. He tells Private Cooper, hey, get out of there, and Sergeant Wells actually extinguishes the flame on the wood-burning stove and then cuts the gas line. And so he lets the house fill up with gas. The werewolves break into the room, and right as Sergeant Wells begins to turn, he hits the igniter on the stove. The house blows up, killing himself and the werewolves. How do you not give this man 4 nails in the coffin? He was a badass, a tough SOB the entire film. He sacrificed himself to save Cooper, and I think he was, being in the military myself for 22 years, he was a great military leader and one of my favorite characters in the film. And not only am I going to give Sergeant Wells 4 nails in a coffin, he's going to get the Golden 4-Nail Award. The movie ends with Cooper down in the basement, and he's attacked by the now transformed Captain Ryan. Cooper is saved by Sam the dog, which gave him time to find the silver letter opener from earlier, and he's able to stab the beast with it and then blows his head off with his gun. Now, seeing as how Captain Ryan was already fully transformed into a werewolf, and I didn't nail any other werewolf deaths, I'm not going to give Werewolf Captain Ryan a nail rating. Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my nails in a coffin for Dog Soldiers. Here's a quick recap of all the nails I awarded. The male camper and the female camper at the beginning of the film each got 3 nails in a coffin. Corporal Bruce Campbell, 3 nails in a coffin. Private Terry Milburn, I gave him 3 nails in a coffin. Private Joe Kirkley, he earned himself 4 nails in a coffin. Megan had 3 nails in a coffin. Private Spoon Witherspoon had 4 nails in a coffin. And Sergeant Harry G. Wells earned himself the golden 4 nails in a coffin. This gives us an average of 3.4 nails in a coffin, which is obviously the highest average nails in a coffin that I have given since I started this channel at the end of last year. I really enjoyed this movie. Huge thank you to Josh from Newbie Timelines for recommending this movie, 4 Nails in a Coffin. I had a blast covering it. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely will watch this movie again. Josh, I hope you're pleased with the video, and let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my nail ratings. Anybody watching this video, let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the nail ratings. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks again for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, I'd love if you hit that subscribe button so you can help me grow this channel. Leave a like and a comment down below as well. And also, if you have any other movie recommendations you think would be fun for Nails in a Coffin. I am staying at Camp Crystal Lake for the summer, covering all those movies, and those are a lot of fun, so be sure to check those out. Did anybody else hear that again? I'm going to wrap things up, so I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.